probably heard the term relative minor, relative major before. If you haven't, you probably will on your journey as a musician. This term really refers to two keys, a major key and a minor key, that share the exact same notes. As guitarists, we need a pretty solid method by which to mount this stuff on the fretboard so we can see it and understand it and get behind it and be able to use it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn how to map the relative relationship directly onto the fretboard. I'm going to explain what the relationship is. I'm going to show you how to see it and play through it on the guitar. And then I'm going to show you two really quick shortcuts, how to find that relationship no matter what key you're in or no matter where you are on the fretboard. A couple of really easy tricks. And then finally I'm going to show you how that relative relationship impacts the pentatonic scale, which is, pretty ubiquitous. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's get the relative relationship, relative major, relative minor relationship on the fretboard. Again, it's two different keys, one major, one minor, that share the exact same notes. Pretty easy to understand. We're going to investigate that and get it on the board. The first thing we have to do is figure out what's a key. I've covered this before, but basically the best way to think about a key is that I use a cooking metaphor. Here's the A major scale. These 7 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to the root, right? Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. You should consider the ingredients of the A major key, of the key of A major. Once you harmonize that, and here's a great video on how to harmonize a scale, you cultivate the chords from the scale. And those chords represent the key. In other words, these 7 notes, and only these 7 notes, build the entire fabric of the key of A. Okay, so if this is the key of A, if those are the ingredients to the key of A, there must be another key with the exact same notes. And I'm just going to cut to the chase. That key is built off of the 6th degree. So if we count these numbers again, and we stop on 6, that will be where the relative minor for A is located. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's F sharp. So in the key of A, F sharp is the relative minor. So basically what we're saying is all of these notes are also the notes in the key of F sharp minor. Same exact notes. We're really just starting and ending the A major scale on the 6th degree. There's our 6. Same exact notes, just starting and ending on F sharp. So that is it. That's the relative minor-major relationship. It's the 1 of the major scale to the 6 of the major scale. So you may say to yourself, well, what about all the other modes of the major scale? In other words, what if I take the A major scale and I play it from B to B? Isn't that relative as well? And the answer is no. The method is the same, but listen to the difference. Here's our 1-6 relationship. Right? Sounds familiar. Sounds like a very, very sort of consonant cadence. It really makes sense musically. Listen to the cadence between, let's say, the 1 and the 7. It's not as strong. The word relative really describes this union of the 6 and the 1, back and forth. It's really responding more to the musical cadence of it than anything else. That relationship basically describes this really intense musical cadence. Let me show you a couple of ways to find this on the guitar. First of all, the 6 is the easiest way. You can go up to the 6 in any major scale. Let's just take C, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the relative minor of C is A minor. So you can just simply go up to the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of any major scale and find your relative minor. Or you can count down from the root 7, 6 and find it that way. Here's another interesting shortcut. Take any major triad. Let's go to A here. And you're going to need a little triadic capability to do this. This is a root 3, 5 triad. Just our root position A major triad. If I take the 5th, root 3, 5, and I take it up to the 6th and keep the other two notes the same, that's an F sharp minor triad. And that works with any major triad. Here's another A major triad on this set of strings, D, G, and B. And this happens to be root 3, 5. If I take that 5 up a whole step, keep the other two notes the same, F sharp minor. 1 to 6. 1 to 6 right here. Here's an A major triad. Here's our last triad on this string set. Root 3, 5. Take that 5 up a whole step. Leave the other two notes the same. F sharp minor. 1 to 6. 1 to 6. 1 to 6. That happens anywhere on any major triad. It's another great, really sort of quick shortcut to find the relative minor of any major triad. Very, very cool. Finally, I wanted to show you one more thing, which is, if indeed the major and minor keys that are relative have the exact same notes, this also applies to the pentatonic scale, and you may already have this information. Let's just take an A major pentatonic scale, for example. That scale is the same as its relative minor pentatonic, F sharp. Same exact notes, right? So now I can interchange each one of these pentatonic scales. And you may have learned this from a different context, but as the 1/6 cadence suggests, I can use this as an A major pentatonic scale. And I can clearly use this as an F sharp minor pentatonic scale. So this 1/6 relationship is more than just two keys being the same. It's really about this 1/6 cadence and how these two things relate to each other, the 1 to the 6. Okay, there it is, the relative relationship. Relative major, relative minor, right? It's the relationship of the 1 to the 6 in that major scale. And you saw how to map it using that 1.5 down from the major, or the 1.5 up from the minor to find the relative major, or to find the relative minor, depending on where you are. That great triad trick about taking any major triad and just raising the 5th up to the 6th, and boom, you have the 6th chord, right? It exposes that relationship just by changing that one note in the triad. And then, of course, the pentatonic scale. Taking that idea that if these two keys have the exact same notes, then you can interchange those two scales. So anytime you come across a major pentatonic scale, you can use that as the relative minor scale, up a 1.5, again using that 1.5 relationship. Pretty cool stuff. I wanted to do one more thing before I let you go, which is just give you an example of that 1/6 relationship in some sort of modern music. Because, you know, it's one thing to get all the shapes and all the notes and all the ideas down on the fretboard, but without attaching it to something that's musical, I feel like we run the risk of just, you know, just having some information and you're going, and then now what, right? So a couple of examples I'm going to play for you in the key of A. They weren't necessarily written in the key of A, but they're going to be familiar, and they just sort of demonstrate how powerful this 1/6 relative relationship actually is. The first one is a song by Stephen Bishop released in 1976 called On and On. 1/6. 1/6. Great song, but you can see that cadence really makes up the whole verse. It's really primary to the song. The other one is one written by Leonard Cohen called Hallelujah, written and released in 1984. 10 years later in 1994, made extremely popular by Jeff Buckley, and that goes like this. Such a beautiful song, but it's got that 1/6. Same thing, right? It's a big, big musical construct. It's a great sort of, it's a chord progression. It's a cadence between releasing and creating tension. It's really fantastic. It's got a lot of facets to it. It's not just about getting it on the fretboard, but that gives you the capability of coming to any information about the relative major, relative minor, and being able to map it onto the fretboard and really understand it and incorporate it like those two songs. Anyway, I hope this is interesting. I hope it's helpful. I've tabbed it all out. That's on Patreon. The link is in the description below. Head on over there if you want the tabs. We're also having a pretty lively conversation about all these subjects, so you're welcome to participate in that as well. And any support over there really fuels this whole project for me and allows me to the time and effort to put this content together for you. I hope you find this interesting, and I hope that relative major, relative minor relationship is something that you get curious about and you go find out about. Okay, I'll see you next time.